When I tell people I live in Bozeman, Montana, the first thing they always say is, wow, I bet the winters are rough, and I could never do cold like that. And yes, sometimes it can get pretty cold, but the people out here have adapted and found simple ways to combat the weather and make life out here pretty comfortable, and definitely incredibly worth it. Montana is arguably one of the most beautiful states in the country, but with its abundance of wildlife, rivers, and mountains, comes its own set of challenges, with weather being the most notorious. To be completely honest, most of the year is really nice. We get incredible summers and beautiful falls and springs. It's really those few winter months out of every year that people seem to worry about. Here's how locals approach it and make it one of the most looked forward to seasons. First, and this will come to no surprise, your gear needs to be on point. I run a 3-jacket system, which I'll get into in another video, combined with a pair of water-resistant shoes. It's important to stay dry when the weather isn't favorable. Most days a normal pair of jeans is sufficient, and if you run cold naturally, pairing them with another layer, like a base layer, will always do the trick. I personally like Vans MTE shoes in their level 1, which is their lightest, has always kept me warm and dry. I've never found it necessary, but pairing your shoes with some merino wool socks will add another layer of warmth if you need it. Carhartt overalls, insulated and non, are effective and a good alternative to just pants and a jacket. Really anything Carhartt makes is built for Montana and always a good option. Moving up the body, and arguably the most important piece of gear, the jacket. I found having 3 different jackets covers all the bases. One for negative to about 20, a jacket for 20 to 40, and a light one for 40 to 60. And to be honest, I love my thickest coat, a down North Face bomber with a hood. I bought it before I moved to Bozeman. It's my favorite jacket I own, and I really only get to wear it maybe a week a year. Most of the winter, my 686 button down with Insulate rated to 30 is my go-to. And when winter starts coming to an end, something like this thin Patagonia will do the trick. I love jackets, so of course I have more than 3, but when it comes down to it, 3 is all you need. Pair it with a long sleeve or a base layer top, and you're good to go all winter. When it comes to gloves, I think you're either a glove person or you aren't. The only time I find myself wearing gloves is when I'm skiing or shoveling snow. My partner, however, has made them a necessary part of her winter attire. Similar thing can be said about sunglasses. You either really get down with them or you don't. My glove choices are pretty much just different styles of snowboarding gloves, and I use a similar system to my jackets. I run thin part gloves for shoveling and playing with the dog outside, the kind mid-weight gloves for actually snowboarding or if I decide to ski, and if it's in the single digits, a pair of Burton mittens with a pouch for hand warmers, which I've never needed. And for the neck, there's an infinite amount of buffs or scarves to cover your exposed skin. I prefer a buff. They sit tight around your neck, and you're able to pull them up over your ears and mouth, and they tuck nicely under a beanie. Speaking of hats, the beanie is probably king when it's cold, but I prefer to have more options. Brixton made an awesome hat back in the day that I've managed to hang on to over all these years. It's a ball cap, but it's a felt or wool-like material, and it keeps me really warm. There's a ton of good options, but when it comes down to it, a jacket with a good hood will always do the trick. Another important key to surviving Montana winter is always keeping your warmest jacket with you in the car. I've seen down sleeping bags being kept in the car as well. It's a fail-safe in case you end up getting stuck somewhere with a busted heater. You gotta think ahead and plan for the worst. Luck favors the prepared. The key to beating the cold is gear. With the right setup, you will always be comfortable. Don't let a little thing like the cold stop you from enjoying everything Montana has to offer. Get a good jacket, and I'll see you out on the trail.